lockdown happened, the pandemic happened, and I always say to people who decide that they're going to crowdfund or they're curious about crowdfunding, you should still put money into your business. So I did. I just didn't have 10k. I had some, it wasn't 10k, but I think it's very important for people to know and to even put in your crowdfunding pager that you have invested in your business, because you can't expect others to invest unless you have invested. So that was it was kind of a no choice situation. Pandemic, I need the funds, and I just made the decision. I said, I'm going to launch a crowdfund in 12 days. I put it out on social media, and I was like, even if it flops, I've tried, because some people don't even get that far. So
that's true.
Like, whatever happens. And luckily, it was a great success. Got the money.
That's great. So, but was it through an accelerator program, or did you just do it yourself?
So there are crowdfunding platforms that people can research and do their due diligence on. I use Crowdfunding UK. I'd heard of Crowdfunding UK, and at the time they do often sometimes have initiatives, and they had like a partnership at the time with NatWest to back her business. So they were kind of putting out their ways to support female businesses. So it was just a good ripe time to get visibility. It sounded simple, starting up the crowdfund. The team were very supportive in the beginning, and yeah, that's what I went for.
Okay, great. And was it a particular type of crowdfunding? Because I know there's like reward-based crowdfunding. There's different types of crowdfunding. Which type of crowdfunding did you choose, and why?
That's a great question, because I haven't really delved deeply into the other platforms, because I didn't need to. Crowdfund seemed really simple for me, but it was pretty much a case of you can get donations and pledges. Pledges are optional, so it's a simple case of you set a target. My target was £10,000, and people can donate. The crowd can donate, but there was a rule that in order to get that £10,000, the crowd had to be a minimum of 100 people. So you can't just have a rich auntie and a rich uncle each give you 5k each. It's not going to work. It has to be considered according to the amount that you want to raise. It has to be seen as a crowd of people doing that. So you get donations, and you have the option of setting pledges, which I did, because that's really a great and clever way to get customer acquisition and the next step. So I had set, like, for example, one of them was, if you pledge over £25, you can get 30% off. Which was great, because that was how I got my first customers, and I call them my ride or dies, because they've been with me ever since, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, that's a really smart sort of marketing strategy as well. So, getting the crowd, getting money as well, but also building up your customer base at the same time. So that's really good. So when you sort of, you started your crowdfunding, there were obviously strangers who were donating or pledging. What did you do to make the brand resonate with them, for people, I'm assuming complete strangers, to give you their money? Because there's, lots of people starting businesses and things. And why do you think they wanted to donate or pledge with Bind London?
I think two things. I made it very clear what the vision was. So it was great in terms of not all the strangers who pledge were necessarily my customers base. Some of them didn't even need they're not the community I'm trying to serve, but they still supported because they understood the vision. And that's what I spoke about. I spoke about who I'm trying to serve and why, as opposed to the product features are. There's when it comes to crowdfunding, you have to be quite emotive. You have to tap into why people should donate and pledge. And I was extremely grateful, because £10 is for some might be very small, but a community of £10 is insane. And the fact that anyone would give up their time to go on the website, pledge £10, it accumulates. And I was extremely grateful, and I acknowledged the gratitude publicly. And I was very honest about the journey. So I think people just It might have been people wanting me to get to the finish line. I was on Instagram stories, Facebook stories, LinkedIn consistently every day, like, it's getting bigger, guys. So people just wanted me to get there. They were like, come on, girl, we get you to the finish line together, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, that is great. That is really good. And because I was going to ask, were most of the donations from people from the community that you serve? But as you said, they weren't, which is really interesting as well.